If you have just clicked on this particular, video, you're welcome to my Excel dashboard, crash course on this particular channel. So today we're going to be looking at how to create this particular dashboard right on your screen. It's a very dynamic dashboard. So before we actually look at what is going on right here, let us quickly look at the PDF we're going to be following to actually have this created for you to understand how to actually, translate text into insight. So I work as a freelancer data analyst working from home. This is what I normally received from my client. I can't show you messages from my client because it's not going to be professional, but I'm going to show you something similar to what I normally receive. So having this right now is going to be coming with a data set that actually going to help you to get the insight they actually want from it. So if you read through what is actually here right now, the client says, I hope this message finds you well. I am reaching out to request your expertise in helping me create a professional sales dashboard in Excel. And he wants to actually get KPI created, comparison visuals year over year, category insight, customer insight, regional insight, interactive. So everything that is needed on the dashboard is right here. So based on what we have just read, you're going to have it downloaded, download it and go through it to understand what exactly you need to do. I'm going to show you every single thing step by step. This dashboard is professional. We have all the sales data here, all the transactional data. We have the product data. We have the customer data. Without using VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index and match, or any other lookup function, I was able to actually bring my data together to actually create my visuals through this particular part, which is Power Pivot. So if I open up Manage right now, you can see over here, I have the transaction data, I have the product, I have the customer, and I created extra column or extra table rather that actually house all my date or my calendar, right? So without VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, as I've said earlier, we have actually created this particular part, which is the diagram part here. It's coming up. So this diagram part here helps us to link our tables together. We don't need to use VLOOKUP. This is a professional way to create Microsoft Excel dashboard. So now you're going to learn from me how to use Power Query to actually transform your data into what you want. If I click on this right now, I can actually go to Power Query. This calendar you have seen previously was actually created using Power Query. Can you see it now? This is it. This is dynamic. Every single time there's a new data, this actually updates automatically. So this is a professional dashboard that you actually need to actually create. So good layout, good design, good color, every single thing I have actually, done right here. The images, the color, I'm going to show you the website. You can actually go to and actually grab them 100% free. And now this is what it is. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking forward to creating advanced dashboard inside Microsoft Excel, this is the opportunity to actually, watch this video to the end and see what you can do to have this dashboard created. Well, before you go, I have a course on Microsoft Excel and Power BI together, where I'm going to show you how to actually use Microsoft Excel from elementary down to advanced level and actually switch you to Power BI, where I teach you about Power BI, everything you need to know to create great reports and great dashboards. So let us get into the class. The course link is actually on the description box, or you can actually go to the comment section and find out for yourself. So you're welcome. Here are the data set we're going to be using for this particular project. So we have the sales, we have product, and we have customers. So if you actually are a basic Microsoft Excel user, you might be tempted to actually use VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index and match to actually bring those tables together. But we are not going to do any of that. So what do we need to do instead? Let us go over to sales table. So click anywhere. So make sure it's actually on a table format, right? So if it is not on a table format, all you have to do is to Ctrl T to actually convert it to a table. Over here, you have to make sure this one is actually a date format as well. So from there, go to the top ribbon and click on data. From data, you can see over here, we have this particular part, which is our from table range. So what we're going to do right now, we want to pick this particular data into Power Query. So go ahead and click on from table, range. Here you go. We now have our data inside Power Query, and the data is actually cool, but not as cool as what we want. So we have to just do a little cleaning here. The first thing we have to do is to click on this particular part. So we're changing the data type to date, not date and time. So what we have right now is date and time, which is this very one. So now we select date. So just add a new step. In case you want to actually disallow the step, you can actually remove the step. So watch what happens when I actually click on new step here. So we have here called applied step. On this particular applied step, whatever you do would actually start accumulating itself right in here. So which means you can time travel to re-edit your queries. So that is what it is. So I'm going to click on add, and the step is added and it says change type. So you can rename it to whatever you like. So maybe you want to rename it to dates data type. Something like this, that is some kind of descriptive enough to anybody who is going to take a look at our backend. So once you have done that now, we have to investigate and see if we have any other column that needs to be fixed, right? So you need to understand about, understand data types, right? To be able to fix all of this. So I think everything here looks quite okay right now. Right here, we are cool. So we have gotten this in. We have to name this table to something different, not table one. Let us name it transaction. So here is our transaction table. Once we have done this, the next thing we have to do right now is to go over to here where it says close and load. So once you click on it, you have two options. The first option is close and load. So what happens when you use this? This is going to be loaded into Microsoft Excel worksheet interface where you're going to see it physically. So if you click on close and load to, this is going to give you an option on how you want to load this. So as you have already known, Microsoft Excel is only capable to house less than 2 million rows. So if you want to handle 10 million rows, this is the feature you have to use. Right away, I'm going to click on create only connection and add this data to the data model. You get it now? So if I click on OK, you wouldn't see the data physically, imputed itself right on this particular part here. I'm going to show you if you made a mistake, how you can actually correct it as well. We still have this data here, but the original data, or the formatted data rather, has been shifted into a different machine. Okay, click on your product over here. Make sure you actually select the table itself. Go over here, data from table range. So now we just have to rename this table to product. So we can name it to dim product. Dim simply means dimension. Product. So I'm not going to go into detail on what you need to know about different stuff right here. I'm just going to show you the result, but not showing you the result without telling you why we have gotten the result. I am going to be a little bit basic about this. But if you want to actually learn something useful that can actually help you in your career, be it you as a beginner or an intermediary, or you're already working, just pick up my course. It's going to help you to learn about Microsoft Excel from the scratch to advanced level, and as well take you to Power BI and create a very solid project in both Excel and Power BI. Okay, now over here, everything looks quite okay. We don't have any issue with this. Just go ahead and close and load to. So we can create only connection and add this to the data model. Then we click on OK. So as you can see, it's loading itself right here. Then the last one is going to be this very one here. We have to do the same exact thing again. So we just from table range. So once we have this done quickly, let us name this one dim for dimension. So underscore customer. So this is our customer table. On this particular customer table, we're going to come back here to actually, create the age range. But for now, we're going to leave it the way it is right now. And just go ahead and load this straight up to here. So I'm going to create only connection, then do this. And here we go. We have our third table right in here. So this is fantastic. We don't have too much data or too much rows. We only have 5,000, 50, and 300 different customers right in here. Okay, the next thing we have to do is to look at where our data is. So I'm going to go over here and now click on Power Pivot. Then you're going to see here, Manage. So click on Manage. Under Manage, you now have something like this here. So you have the transaction, you have the product, you have the customer. So this is it. So you now have your data right in here. So what we are known for is to actually create a giant table, as I've said earlier, using XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, index and match, or any other lookup function. But right here, we are not going to do any of that. Instead, we're going to use this particular diagram view here. On the diagram view here, we have our table here. Let us create what we call star schema, which is linking our tables together. To get that done now, we have to look at what is common between two of them, is the product ID, which is found right in here. So first of all, let us understand what are those particular tables for. This very table here is your transactional table. On this particular table, you actually have what I call duplicate values right in here. You have duplicate values right in here. You get it now? So you do have duplicate values here. But on this particular other tables, like this very table here, this particular one, and this one, so you actually have unique lists of values right here. So which means that are not duplicates. That is why we call it dimensional table. So another name we can actually call this particular dimensional table here is actually lookup table. You get it right now. You can call it lookup table, or you call it dimensional table, right? So the lookup table contains unique value, unique list of value, no duplicates. One customer appears once in your customer table. One product appears once in your product table, but it can appear many times here. And over here, what we have is the ID. So to connect them together right now, you can drag this particular product ID onto this particular one. It will create many-to-one relationship for you. Can you see it right now? You have one here. If you have the asterisk here, it simply means you have many products appeared here. You can drag from here to the customer ID here. And what you're going to have is, many-to-one as well. One here, one customer appeared here. The customer made multiple transactions over here, or multiple purchases right here. Can you see it now? So if we go back to this particular view, nothing changed. So we still have the same exact thing here. So we need to actually create one more table. So in Excel, we have limitation on dates. So when we actually use basic Excel calculations, we don't have all the dates we want. But let me show you what I'm talking about. To step off from here now to Excel interface, we can click over here and it bounces us right in here. So if I still want to go back and create my pivot table, click on Power Pivots and now Manage. So let us go over here to Pivot Table here and can create a pivot table from here. Then you actually use the new worksheet, not existing one. Then click on OK. So now you have this. So if there is no point in seeing this here, you can actually go ahead and close it. I'm going to show you how to open it back when the time comes. So click back here now. So you don't have anything to work with. What you need to do is just to right click, and from here you click on Show Field List. Then here you go, you have all of this. So forget about those particular tables you have right here. So our concentration is going to be on this, and this, and one other table we're going to create. So let me quickly show you one thing to know the reason why we are going to do that. So over here, I'm going to bring in my date into here, right? So automatically, Microsoft Excel grouped my date for me into, year, quarter, and month. So what if I want to have weekday? There is no provision for that by Microsoft. So I can actually create my own weekday using Power Query. What if I want to have week types like weekend and weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, down to Friday, whatever? You have to do all that all by yourself. We can't do it through here. So that is why using Power Query to actually transform your data is a must. So my course will definitely teach you all of this. All you have to do is to sign up for my course and see what you can do to learn Microsoft Excel like a pro. So what I'm going to do right now, if you look at it, I don't have anywhere to click over here to go to Power Query. Even though if I click on this particular one here, I still don't have any means to go to Power Query. So what are we going to do? That was because we have actually turned that feature off. So what do we do instead? Click over here, go to data, and now we click over queries and connections. So while we clicked on queries and connection, we can now hover on any of the tables here, step into it and click on edit. Or you can double click over here. It will bounce you back to Power Query. So we are right on Power Query. So we want to create a date table that is going to be dynamic. So to do that now, we have to click on transaction here, right click, and you go ahead and duplicate, not delete, duplicate. So once we have it duplicated, we have this. The only thing we need from here is the date column. Right click and go ahead and remove other columns. So now we have this. This particular table we have created right now has a relationship with this particular table. So anytime we have a new date or any transactional date get populated right in here, automatically it will actually reflect into this particular new table. So what do we need to do next? We have to change the name. We can double click over here and name this one to calendar. So once you have done this, it is time for you to start working on it. So right away, if we leave it this way, it's not going to work. So we have to remove the duplicates and keep unique list of what? Of table, of column right here. So all you have to do is to right click and find where it says remove duplicates. So we now have unique list of our dates here, which means we have to connect this particular calendar to the date column we have right inside our transactional table. That will give us one-to-many relationship as well. So going back to calendar now, it is time for we to start adding columns to it. To do that, you need to understand the difference between transform and add column. I wouldn't go into detail about this. My course will teach you everything you need to know about this. So transform here means you're transforming the existing column without adding a new column, while add column simply means you're actually adding a new column from the existing column. You get that right now. So that is what you're going to do. I'm going to use both of them, transform and add column. Currently, I'm clicking on add column. So what do I need to do? Let's go over to date here. On that date, you can see you have the year. You can actually click on it. And the year got extracted from here. That doesn't affect what we have right here. We still have it intact, right? So click back here to actually extract another thing you really want to use. The next thing we want to use right now is going to be the month. So under add column, go over here and go to this particular part here and click on month. So once you do this now, what we have here, if I click on the drop down here now, we have 1 to 31. That is, 1 to 12, the 12th month of the year. So this is my month number. This month number is here for a reason. So we have to differentiate it from others, like month number, like this. Okay, so click on this right now and extract the right month. So the month names. So over here, click or hover on month and here name of month. So here is it, month name. So the next thing we have to look at right now is that this is huge. We don't have to have the full August, the full February, January, and all of that. So we need to have the shorter format. So how do we do that? This is where we have to learn how to use the transform part here. Under the transform part, you can actually go to format. And from format, you actually choose, extract. From extract, you choose the first character. So once you have done that, you choose how many characters you want to keep. Then others will be gone. So 3 characters. If I go ahead and click on OK here, so it's gone. can see how swift Excel could be if you know how to use it rightly. The next thing we have to do right now is to go over here again. So while we are here, we want to actually add the weekdays, right? So to do that now, we quickly go over to add column. From add column, we click on this and we go to week, and we can see week of year. So week of month, all of that. So we now have day. So we have day, we have name of day here. We have day of year. Depends on what you really want. So let us go with name of day. With our name of day, we have this. Then if I click on it now, we can do exactly we have done before. So click on transform, then go over to extract the first 3 characters. Then let's do this. We have the shorter format of it. So in case you want to sort your day rightly, let us go ahead and do this. I don't know where that is, but I think I can find it under week. So week of month, I presume. Week of month, let's go 1 to 6. I'm not sure if this is required, but I'm just going to leave this here. We can come back here and actually, reformat this if need be. So, another thing I want to add right now is to add weekend or weekday. So if you look at it, in my country, we actually observe weekend on Sunday and on Saturdays, right? Sunday and Saturdays. So if we want to actually add weekend and weekday right now, so we need to go to add column, and this time around it's going to be conditional column. So with the conditional column, I'm going to call this one week type. So over here, I'm going to select my day name. So the day name here carries my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday down to the last day of the week. So over here, I'm going to say if day name is equals to sun for Sunday, then give me weekend. So add another clause here again, and we're going to say day name again. So over here, it's going to be if day name is actually Sat for Saturday, then it's actually going to be weekend. Otherwise, it should be weekday, right? So go ahead and click on OK over here, and that gives you something like this. So if you want to look at what is going on here, so we can select the weekend. So weekend falls to Saturday and Sunday over here. Can you see that now? This one is not required. I'm going to remove it later after all. So now over here, I can just go ahead and have this clear, no filter, clear filter. So this is what we actually require to have this created. So what else do we actually need to add right now? That is the quarter. The quarter is important. Always make sure you go to the first column we have here, highlight it, and go to add, then go to this particular date. You're going to see Q for quarter here and quarter of the year. So we're going to have 1 to 4 rather, the 4 quarters. So what I've done now is not really cool because numbers looks like values like quantity whatsoever. This is not making any damn sense, and Microsoft Excel will find it hard to know where to actually push this into when you're trying to analyze the data. So what I'll do now is to quickly go ahead and click on add or transform. On that transform, we click on this particular format here and we click on add prefix. So once you click on add prefix, you add Q to it, just Q. And once you click on OK right now, it has transformed this into quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. This is what it is, Q1 to Q4. So click over text here. And here you go. So everything here looks quite okay. It's okay. So the next thing we have to do right now is to go ahead and go to home. So we have to close and load too. But what if I made a mistake to click on close and load? So this is going to actually go into a worksheet. And that is not what we want. We have to create relationship. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, I think because this was created from transaction, it was not doing that. I wanted to show you something, but unfortunately I couldn't. But that will actually be, you can catch that in my course. If you've taken my course, you'll see when you made a mistake to push it into the worksheet, how you can actually take it back to the Power Pivot or the data model, wherever it is. Okay, so let us go and verify if we have it right here. Click on Manage Data Model. So right now we have the calendar here. So with our calendar here right now, if we go to diagram, we have to connect it. So how do we do that? I can actually push this one over here and have this one in the middle of it, right? Then date to date, date to date. If I mistakenly plug it at the wrong place, look at what happens. It doesn't really tell me that, oh, what you've done is wrong. And this is wrong, absolutely. So the only time you're going to know that you have done something wrong is when you're trying to use this particular, any of these columns here to analyze your data. It wouldn't plot the right values for you. Then you are going to know that you have done something wrong. So what do we do now? We can double click over here. So once you double click over here, you can see the mapping is wrong. So why would we map order ID to date, which is wrong? So there should be a switch. The switch now should be dates here to the date we have right in here. So to get that done now, we just have to click over here and we have done the right thing. So go ahead and click on OK. So this is done rightly. If I now hover over it, you can see here now, based on what I've done, take a look at it. Now we have it mapped rightly. Okay, this is cool. I'm going to show you something quickly. Let us go to Excel interface. And over here, if I click on this and go over to here, you can see I have all the columns showing up here. I don't need all of those columns here. So if I click on product, I have my ID showing up here. If I click on customer, I have customer ID showing up here. There is no need for me to even show them any longer because I'm not going to use them. So what do? I go back to my manage data model and click on the data view. From data view right now, I'm going to hide what I don't need. So from this particular table here, what I don't need is this particular date column. It has been used to actually create connections. So right click and click on hide. So here is hide from client tools. It has been hidden. I don't need to use this number. I can click on hide to have it hidden. So the month number here is for a reason. Let me quickly show you why I have this particular month number right in here. So I'm going to quickly go back here. So from here, make sure this particular first pivot table created is clicked on. So switch to here and go over and drag this away from here. We don't need any of this here. So once we have done that, let us go into our own calendar. So right inside our calendar, we want to pick the month name into here. So look at what is going on here now. The month is actually starting from April down to September. So it doesn't really matter if we have any value right in here. Let us go to our transaction now and bring in our quantity and see if that will fix it for us. So total quantity doesn't fix it. It's still starting from April down to September. So how do we now fix it? So we go back to our manage data model. So while we are here, we need to actually select the one now and go over to sort by column and choose sort by column again. Then over here, we select the column we want to use to sort it. So we sort it by the month number we created, this one. Remember, this is the month number right in here. Then go ahead and click on OK. So with this now, we have solved the problem. Let's get back here. Can you see now from January down to December? If you have not done this before, please let me know in the comment section if you're actually seeing this kind of advanced analysis inside Microsoft Excel for the first time, right? Okay, So let us quickly go back and reduce some things we don't actually need to be on the client view. So right now the month number is not monitored. So I'm going to have it hidden as well. So those are the ones I want to have hidden. Let's go to the customer table. On the customer table, there is no need for you to keep the customer ID. Don't delete it. Instead, have it hidden. Right? So what else? We go to the product. The ID is not needed for any analysis. We have used it to create connection. Have it hidden. Under the transaction here, we are going to hide our date column. We have used it to create connection. Have it hidden. The order ID, we don't need it. Have it hidden. The reason why we're not deleting them is that if we delete them, it's going to affect our analysis. Specifically, if that column has been used to actually create connection between other tables, you can't delete them. So we have the product ID hidden. We have this particular customer. The employee ID, we don't need it. We can actually delete this one. This one is not going to be needed because we don't even have employee table. So we can actually delete this particular column. So you can delete it from here. So this is what it is. You can't delete from here because this is not where you have your data primarily writing. So if you want to have it deleted, you have to go to Power Query. So in our own case, let us go ahead and have it hidden. So nicely done. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and this one was created for me when I actually did that particular date to show you how dates were being grouped. So I'm going to have it hidden as well. So have this one hidden, then finally have this particular one here hidden. So once I've done this right now, it is time for me to go ahead and take a look at what we have. You can see over here now under transaction, we don't have too much things right here. So quantity and unit price is what is active right here. And those are what I really need. And this is fine. So I'm going to tell you firsthand that we have successfully, transformed and loaded our data in. The next thing we have to do right now is to start analyzing our data. So which means we can rename this one now to analysis. So now we have to prepare our dashboard environment. So we already have analysis. Over here, I'm going to name this one dashboard. Dashboard here. So with the dashboard here, let us turn this off and bring them up when we need them. So over here now, we just have to maintain what we have here. So go over to view. In case you don't have this, maybe you have the default view like this. This is what you actually have at default when you installed Microsoft Excel. So to create a great dashboard, just go over here and say hide, auto hide ribbon. Then once you have done that, go back to the top ribbon again by clicking over here and go to view and go over to hide grid lines and hide headings. And as well, the formula bar should be turned off. Although in the middle of the class, we're going to be turning the formula bar on and off to have a great view. So this is what we have for the first time. The next thing we have to do is to Control A to select every single thing. And now we go over to the top here, we go to home. From home, we click on this particular part and we click on this very one here. So we have just changed the background. And the background I'm using right now is this particular white that has 5% darker. So once we have this is great. I have already selected the colors I'm going to use in this particular dashboard. So let me show you the website you can actually get colors from. So over here, you go to Adobe Color Wheel. Can you see it right here? So while you are here, you click on Adobe Color. Once you click on Adobe Color here, it's going to open up this website for you. Just give it some time. So while you are here, you click on Explore. So if you click on Explore here, you're going to see this particular website will give you default colors that it already mixed for you. So whenever you want to use any one of them, just click and all you have to copy is the color codes from here. So let me show you how to mix your own personal color. So while you click on Explore, you're going to see this particular search bar here. Let's say you want to use something like a purple color, but you don't know what other colors you can actually mix up with purple. You just have to just type in purple and hit your enter key. Then leave the work to Adobe, color here to mix up purple for you. Can you see it now? This is it. All those colors that you have right here right now goes along with purple. Can you see it? Do you see it now? You can use those particular colors here. But this is one thing I always tell people. Don't use lots of colors on your project. So now we have how many distinct colors here? We have 5. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and we have 5. So you can choose the top best 3 colors here that can actually give you what you want. So in my own case, I already have my color selected. It's just for me to show you where you can actually mix your colors from in case you don't know how to get your color mixed up for you. Okay, now we have settled this particular background color over here. The next thing we have to do right now is to actually create some couple of KPIs. So what I'm going to do for the first time is just going over to insert here. And under insert, I'm going to go over to illustrations, go to shapes, and you have lots of shapes here that you can actually use. So let me go for this particular one. So drag it down here. This is what you have. So now I want to change the color of this shape. With my Control 1, I bring up this. So while we have this on the screen, we can go ahead and go to line and say no line. You get it? So go over to fill. Now click on this particular part here and choose the color you want to use. In my own case, I'm going to select this particular more color. Then over here, I can change the color to give me what I want. So in case you are using a version of Microsoft Excel that does not have the hex code, let me give you the red color. The red code is actually 92. Then the green here is 112, while we have the blue to be 107. Can you see this now? Then go ahead and click on OK. So in case you have the hex code, this is the hex code you can actually type in. It will give you the same RGB we have right in here. Click on OK. This is what we have. Great, right? Okay. Let me just take this one down. For the time being, I'm going to create something over here. So something like this. And not too big. This is just the size I want to have. Something like this here. So before we go on, let us go ahead and click on this part here, a text box, and type in the name of your dashboard. Mine is just sales dashboard, right? So maybe it could be the name of your company. Who knows? So go over to this particular part here and increase its size. The font size should be increased like this here. So make sure this actually sits rightly at this very spot here. So what we need to do right now is to go over here, take off the border and the fill color. And now we can change the color through here by clicking over here. We want to select the same color we are using for our card here. We don't want something too bright or too dark. So I'm going to keep this over here like this. Okay. So on this particular one, you can just shift it a little bit. Something like this is actually cool for me, right? So I can move it down a bit. Here we go. So once I'm cool with what I have right here, the next thing I have to do right now is to start creating my KPIs, but not so fast. Let's quickly go over or still have this duplicated. Control D to duplicate it. Now we can reduce this and make it a little bit smaller. Something like this would look perfectly okay for me. So now if I put it on top of this one, what's going to happen is going to actually fade into the background. So I want to select the lighter version of it. So the only way to mix it is just to go to more colors. Now while you are here, click on custom. And while you're on custom, you can just bring, what the heck is going on? Okay, let's deselect it. Click back over here. So we are on the text, sorry. Let's go back to this fill color. Now we can click over here, click over here. So while we're here, we just take it up to create a brighter version of it, a lighter version of the same color. This is how you can mix your color yourself without even going to the website. If you just know how to do this, don't shift this except you want to get a different variation of this color. I'm going to be within the same color, but create a brighter version or a lighter version, right? Just go ahead and do this. In case you want to use the same thing I'm using, 161, 177, 173, then go ahead and click on OK. So now what I'm going to do is just to actually, have this placed right here. That is beautiful. So while we have this over here, what I'm going to do right now is to duplicate this and have it into 4 places. So Ctrl D and keep this one over here, Ctrl D, and this is what I have. So once I have done this now, I'm just going to keep this over here. Make sure it's actually centralized in it. So to actually have it centralized right now, I'm going to select this one first, then hold my Control key to select this particular one alone. Go to the top ribbon here, shape format, and align this now. We're going to align in this middle. So it's in the middle of it right now. So we can actually use this one. Hold your Control key to select this, and this. Then go to the top ribbon again. Now select align. After you clicked on shape format, then you distribute horizontally. Then you now distribute vertically. So if you look at it now, this is what we have. So something is happening. For we to get it to this particular spot, what we need to do right now is to hold our Control key. It's tricky, but if you follow me step by step, you're going to know how I've done it. So I'm going to just bring this one down. Once I've brought them down, hold my Control key to select this particular one. Look at what I'm going to do now. Go over to align and align top. So nicely done. We have aligned them properly in the same, place. Okay. This is where our KPI cards would be. The next thing we're going to do right now is to quickly go ahead and actually create some icons. But maybe you might be interested in looking at how we're going to add some values to this. Let us quickly create our KPI for the first time. So we are here. We don't need to have any of this here. Let us take off our month and take off our quantity sold. Yeah, our quantity sold is fine. It can be here. So it's giving us sum. If you want to change the sum, all you have to do is to Control 1. Was it Control 1? No, double click on it. Then I'm thinking of something. Yeah, double click on it, you have this. So you just take off sum and have just quantity. If I hit my enter key, I have this. Okay, so make sure you clicked on this one and be on a particular table, like this particular transaction table here. This time around, we are not going to use formulas to create, our analysis because of how we want or what we really want to do. The easiest way to do it is to use DAX, which is Data Analysis Expression. This is a language used, in Microsoft Power BI for calculations and aggregation of values. So if you follow my tutorial very well, even this Excel will actually teach you Power BI at the same time. So maybe you want to take advanced class, go to the comment section. You're going to see all the courses I have right there for you guys. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is to go over here. I'm going to click on Power Pivot Table Analyze. I think Power Pivot here. While I've clicked on that, you can see over here we have measures. So click on New Measure. So you're going to have this. The table I clicked on before I did this is actually what is reflecting here right now, which means all the measures we're going to be creating will be added all in here, right? So we have measure name. What should be our measure name? Our measure name now is that we want to create total revenue. We want to create total revenue. So total revenue. So over here is description. This description here has to do with maybe trying to explain what this measure is all about, or if you have any other comments. So right in here is where we actually create our DAX into. So the function we're going to use, the DAX function we're going to use, maybe it's going to be your first time. We're not using sum function here. Sum function only works with one single column, while sum x works with multiple columns, like 2 columns, like iterating through line by line and multiply 2 columns from different, rows. So now sum x is an iterator that scans your table. So first of all, it's looking for a table. So what is this particular table for? This table is your transaction table, comma. So now I can decide to drop this down to create something very, unique. Okay, now with this here, I'm going to put a comma right here. So with my comma here, it's asking for expression. So it's now asking me, inside this particular transaction table, what columns do I need to use to create my total revenue? So which column am I going to multiply? I'm going to say I have quantity sitting in this particular table. If you look at it, quantity. So I want to multiply the quantity by what? By price from the same table. Shift, enter, close. Then you can actually check formula. And here you see no errors in formula. So it's currency. Select this particular one and select your currency symbol. And that is all about that. Then go ahead and click on OK. So once you've done that, automatically it is going to be computed right in here. So the simple thing I've done here now can be done by coming over here and just do simple equals this multiply by this. If I actually highlight this particular column right now and go over here, you see 1453658 Then the same exact thing is what we have over here in our analysis. The same thing. So 14 million, right? So we don't actually need this particular column. We can take it off to not to have any error in our Power Query. Otherwise, Power Query will sense that we have a new column. So let us delete it. Okay, now, once we have done that, we have just created this. The next thing we're going to do right now is to create average revenue per customers. This is something very simple. To create average revenue per customers, all we need to do is to actually divide. So we're going to divide the numbers of customers we have by what? By the total revenue that we have actually generated. You get that now? So let's see how that can be possible. It's something very simple. If this were in Power BI, I would have loved to use variables to actually have this done, but this is not actually that Power BI. So we have limitations on what we do in the DAX we use inside Microsoft Excel. So for that, we're going to create different measures for this. So over here, let's go back, and now we're going to click over here, new measure. So what we need to do right now is to calculate how many customers we have. So I wouldn't go into detail about this, but I'm just going to let you know what it is. If you look at it, we have different tables. Over here, you can see we have sales table, which is a transactional table. We have product table, and we now have customer table. So if you want to calculate the total customers that you have, don't calculate it over the customer table that you have right in here. Instead, calculate it over your transactional table or the sales table. Why are we doing that? So that it could actually account for those customers that has transaction history with us. So maybe we might have a customer last month. So this month, the customer did not make any purchase. So that customer wouldn't have any transactional history in our transactional table. So for that, if you create your total your total customer from the customer table, there'll be a problem. It will give you wrong calculations. So for that, let's do it. So over here, I'm going to call this one hashtag here customer. That is numbers of customers. Inside here, I'm going to use a function called distinct count. So the distinct count here will count the distinct value for me. And that is going to count from the transaction table. It's going to count the customer ID we have inside the transaction table. So just close and you're good to go. So just number. So we don't have too much customers, but for a precaution, we can just use comma separator, and it's going to be a whole number rather. Say whole number, then you click on OK. So we have 300 customers, but we are not actually interested in these numbers of customers we have right in here, but we can keep it. So what we're actually interested in is the average revenue per customers. So how do we get that done? Let's go back here. We're going to create a new measure. So over here, AVG for average revenue per customer. So what we need to do here now, we are not going to use the average function. Instead, we're going to use the divide function here. So we are dividing our what? Dividing our total. If you just use the square bracket, it will give you all the measures you've created. So we're going to be creating this by doing divide our total revenue by square bracket again, numbers of customers, you close, and once you click on OK, this will definitely give you the average revenue you've generated. So in case you want to actually format this to $, just like what I have right here, and you have already committed this, all you have to do is just to go over here, right click on the average and click on edit. So now it's going to bring you back to here. So while you are here now, you are going to go over to currency. From currency, you choose decimal number. So you choose the dollar symbol and you click on OK. So can you see it now? That is the average revenue per customer is $48,000. So if we want to calculate the average revenue per product now, all we have to do is to do the same exact thing we have done for the customers. So just create new, and over here we count how many products we sell. Then over here now we just have to do distinct count. For transaction, we look for product ID. Then we close, and once we've done that, we just click on OK. We just have 50 products. And the last one we're going to do is just for we to add another new. Then over here, we just have to do average revenue per product. So here it's going to be divide, don't forget this. So your total revenue by product. So over here now, we just have to go ahead and format this to currency. So here we go. This is what we have exactly. Those are the KPIs we actually want to show. So how do we go about showing this? So this one here is not from DAX. We just have to go ahead and do number formatting over here. So here we go. Here we go. So it is time for me to come back to our dashboard environment right now. While we are here, we have to quickly look at what it is that we need to do to actually have the right, formatting here. So I'm going to go over to this and duplicate it and reuse it. So Ctrl D to duplicate it, then move it down. Over here, let us type in total units sold. Then we have to go ahead and crank it down. Then you can choose to use white with 10% darker. So we just move it up and have it somewhere around here. So this is what we have right here. So right away, we're going to go with this. So I'm going to click on this particular one here. or let's say this particular one here, duplicate it, and now we have to bring in the values, right? So how do we do that? We can go through here and now view, then we select formula bar. Then from formula bar, we select over here, we put our equal sign and quickly go over to analysis and we pick up the quantity sold. And here we go. So now you can duplicate this now and bring it right here. So you have to bring in the overall revenue. So total revenue. So we can select all of this together. Just hold your control key to select them. Select them. So once we have selected them now, go to the top ribbon here, click on this part, and the color should be changed. So now over here, let us use 16. This is nice. 16 looks quite okay on this. So here we go. The next thing we have to do is to go all the way to the top, go to shape format, go to align and align top to align them properly. So what we need to do right now is that on this particular one, I'm going to click, hold my control key to select them, select this one as well, and select this particular one and bring them down a little bit like this. So once we are cool with what we have, this is not giving us a holistic overview of what we really want to have. Now we have to go to the website where we can get what we want from. So click on flat icon here, this first one. Let us search for cart, like shopping cart. So pick any one of your choice. So I'm going to go with this one. Just click over here and click on download. It's free, 100% free. You don't need to actually even sign up. Just download. So we have all we need. So we are back here now. Quickly go over here and click on insert. Then from here, click on illustrations. Then click on shapes. On pictures and this device to go to where you have it downloaded right in. So we're going to go to download folder. Over here, we just have to click and hold our shift key to select the three of them. Then we'll click on insert. So while we have this, we just have to reduce this. So here we go. So our shopping cart now can be reduced to fit into here. So for our product, it's going to be under here. Something like this. So what about this? The KPI is looking already, fantastic. So make sure your work is being saved to avoid the story that touches the heart. So what about this?